Why the narcissist wants you dead. Have you ever felt like the very essence of who you are draws the ire of someone close to you, leaving you questioning why their actions feel not just antagonistic, but downright destructive? What if I told you that a narcissist's need to dominate and control isn't just about superiority? It's rooted in something much darker. Today, we're unraveling the unsettling truth about why narcissists harbor a psychological drive so intense. It can feel like they're targeting your very existence. Stick with me until the end, because understanding this could change how you view not only them, but also yourself. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Join our community of truth seekers who are piecing together the hidden dynamics of toxic relationships. Give this video a like if the topic resonates with you, and share it with anyone who might need to hear these truths. Ready? Let's uncover why the narcissist wants you, metaphorically or emotionally, dead. The narcissist's feelings toward you are far more complex than mere annoyance. They are deeply threatened by your presence. This might be surprising at first glance, but understanding the dynamics at play reveals the truth. Narcissists rely on an inflated and carefully constructed sense of self-worth to navigate the world. However, this facade is extremely fragile, more like a delicate house of cards than a solid foundation. The moment they encounter someone who exudes authenticity, genuine confidence, or heartfelt empathy, their entire world starts to falter. Why? Because those qualities act as a mirror, forcing them to confront the emptiness and insecurities they work so hard to suppress. Each act of kindness, every success you achieve, and your unwavering commitment to your values become painful reminders of the void within them. This isn't a mild discomfort, it's a profound existential threat. To maintain their self-delusion, they feel compelled to destroy the very qualities in you that highlight their inadequacies. When you interact with a narcissist, every exchange becomes a subtle yet intense battleground. Your strength, integrity, and refusal to engage in petty games are intolerable to them. It's not that they want to harm you in a physical sense, but they do have a relentless desire to extinguish what makes you exceptional. If you've ever walked away from a conversation with a narcissist feeling inexplicably drained, questioning your worth, or second-guessing your perceptions, know that this is no accident. It's the direct result of their calculated efforts to undermine your sense of self. They deploy manipulative tactics like gaslighting to distort your reality, triangulation to create conflict and isolate you, and emotional manipulation to keep you under their control. These strategies aren't just about gaining power over you. They are about diminishing you to a level where you no longer pose a threat to their inflated but hollow ego. What drives this behavior runs deeper than mere arrogance or cruelty. It is rooted in envy. Narcissists are envious of your light, your authenticity, and the effortless way you attract others with your genuine qualities. Their entire existence revolves around crafting an artificial glow, an imitation of the very essence you naturally embody. When they realize they cannot replicate your authenticity, their envy morphs into a desire to diminish you. They might take subtle jabs at your achievements, plant seeds of doubt in your mind, or work to sabotage your relationships with supportive people. The aim is always the same: to dim your natural brilliance so their own artificial light seems brighter in comparison. To fully grasp this, it helps to look deeper into the source of their envy. Narcissists live with a persistent sense of emptiness at their core. Their grandiose persona is like a balloon, large and impressive on the outside, but completely hollow within. When they encounter someone with the qualities they lack but secretly desire, it triggers intense feelings of inadequacy and unprocessed rage. Instead of addressing these painful emotions, they project them outward. You, as the person who embodies what they cannot, become their target. Your very existence feels like a challenge to their delicate, constructed identity, making you the enemy in their distorted view of the world. Reflect for a moment. Have you ever shared joyful news with a narcissist only to be met with apathy, subtle criticism, or even outright attempts to downplay your happiness? Perhaps they've tried to shift the focus to themselves or brought up unrelated negativity to sour the moment. This isn't just rudeness, it's deliberate. Narcissists despise witnessing your happiness because true joy is something they can't genuinely access. Your happiness serves as a glaring reminder of their internal despair, so they make it their mission to diminish your joy. Their logic is twisted but consistent. If they can't be happy, then neither should you. Adding to this is the sinister way narcissists use charm and manipulation to draw you into their web. Think back to the early stages of your relationship with a narcissist during the love-bombing phase. It felt like a whirlwind of affection, attention, and validation, didn't it? Yet none of it was authentic. This phase is a carefully orchestrated tactic designed to make you feel special, valued, and understood. During this time, the narcissist studies you intently, learning your vulnerabilities, hopes, and fears. Once they have this knowledge, they weaponize it. The approval they once lavished on you becomes a tool for control. They withdraw it, leaving you desperate to regain their favor. This calculated withdrawal fosters dependency because, for a narcissist, power over others is essential for their survival. Even their grand gestures and apparent acts of kindness are rarely what they seem. Instead, these actions are transactional, intended to serve their needs while ensnaring you further into their sphere of influence. Narcissists thrive on creating an illusion of care and generosity, but beneath the surface, everything they do is geared toward maintaining control. The very vulnerabilities you once trusted them with are turned against you in moments of conflict. This betrayal often feels deeply personal because it is. They're exploiting the deepest parts of you to reinforce their dominance. The reality is that the narcissist doesn't just want to see you falter. They need it to sustain their fragile sense of superiority. Each time you demonstrate resilience, show kindness, or stand firm in your truth, it's an affront to the unstable foundation of their ego. They see your strengths not as qualities to admire, but as threats to neutralize. The journey of dealing with a narcissist is often exhausting, filled with emotional highs and lows, precisely because they work tirelessly to erode your confidence and sense of reality. Understanding this dynamic is the first step toward breaking free from their grip and reclaiming your light. The truly chilling aspect of dealing with a narcissist lies in their subtle and insidious strategy. Their endgame isn't always obvious or immediate. Instead, they play the long game, weaving a web of manipulation designed to erode your sense of self over time. Their tactics are slow but deliberate, methodically chipping away at your confidence, happiness, and identity. Their goal is not just to hurt you momentarily, but to create a lasting impact that leaves you questioning your decisions, doubting your worth, and feeling disconnected from the very traits that make you unique. Over time, this process can leave you feeling hollow, as though the vibrant parts of your spirit have been extinguished. For many victims of narcissistic abuse, this emotional death, this loss of self, can feel far more devastating than any physical harm could ever be. The question then arises, why do narcissists feel the need to destroy others in such a calculated way? At the heart of their behavior is fear, profound and unrelenting fear. Beneath their outward bravado and grandiosity lies an inner world dominated by terror. They are terrified of being exposed for who they truly are, of being seen as insignificant, or of being abandoned entirely. These fears drive their need to control and manipulate. By tearing you down, they believe they can eliminate the threat you pose to their delicate, constructed sense of self. It's important to understand that their actions are rarely about you personally. Instead, they are a reaction to what you represent. You serve as a mirror, reflecting back their inadequacies and unmet desires. Your strengths, confidence, and authenticity are glaring reminders of everything they lack, and this is a reality they find unbearable. The way they dismantle your spirit is as calculated as it is cruel. They may begin with small, seemingly insignificant criticisms, tiny jabs disguised as jokes or helpful advice. Over time, these add up, creating cracks in your self-esteem. They might invalidate your feelings, undermine your achievements, or plant seeds of doubt about your decisions. These behaviors are not random. They are carefully executed to make you feel unworthy, incapable, and isolated. This gradual erosion of your sense of self allows the narcissist to gain control as your confidence fades and you start to rely on their validation. To them, this dependency equals power, and that power feeds their fragile ego. Recognizing the patterns of a narcissist's behavior is the essential first step to breaking free from their hold. Awareness is the key that begins to unlock the chains they've created, giving you the ability to see their actions for what they truly are, a projection of their own fears, insecurities, and deep-seated issues. It's important to realize that their behavior is not, and has never been, a reflection of your value or worth. Their attempts to manipulate, belittle, or control you are rooted entirely in their own internal struggles, and not in anything you've done. By understanding this, you can start to separate their cruelty from your sense of self and avoid absorbing their negativity. Their words and actions may sting, but they stem from their own unresolved wounds and should never define how you see yourself. You are not at fault for their actions, and you never deserved the mistreatment you've endured. Recognizing that their need to diminish you reflects their inability to handle your strengths, not a deficiency in you, can help you begin the process of reclaiming your self-worth. Once you've gained this awareness, the next crucial step is setting boundaries. Boundaries are not only a way to protect yourself, but also a way to assert your right to live free from manipulation and harm. Narcissists rely on unrestricted access to you, access to your emotions, time, energy, and even your vulnerabilities. They exploit this access to maintain control and to fuel their toxic need for dominance. By limiting or cutting off this access, you disrupt their ability to manipulate you and start to regain your power. Setting boundaries might mean reducing contact with them, being firm in your decisions, or refusing to engage when they try to bait you into arguments or emotional reactions. It could involve physical distance or simply deciding not to share personal details they might use against you. Each boundary you establish is a step toward reclaiming your autonomy and creating a space where their toxic influence cannot thrive. It's worth noting, however, that setting boundaries isn't always easy. Narcissists are skilled at testing limits, pushing back, and employing tactics like guilt-tripping, anger, or even charm to bypass the barriers you've put in place. This resistance can make enforcing boundaries feel intimidating, especially if you've been conditioned to prioritize their needs over your own. But remember, your boundaries are not just for protection. They are a declaration of your self-respect and a refusal to participate in their toxic narrative. While it might feel uncomfortable at first, holding firm to your boundaries is a vital act of self-care and empowerment. Each time you say no to their manipulation, you're saying yes to yourself, reinforcing your own value and independence. Alongside setting boundaries, healing must also be a priority on your journey to reclaiming your sense of self. Healing is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process of nurturing your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. Surround yourself with people who genuinely support and uplift you, whether they are friends, family, or a community that values your happiness and growth. Having a supportive network can provide the encouragement and strength you need as you navigate the challenges of recovery. In addition to seeking support, engaging in self-care is an essential part of healing. Self-care isn't just about indulgence. It's about taking deliberate actions to restore and maintain your well-being. This might involve seeking therapy to process your experiences, journaling to reflect on your emotions, or practicing mindfulness and meditation to reconnect with your inner peace. It's also important to spend time doing activities that bring you joy and help you rediscover the parts of yourself that may have been buried under the weight of the narcissist's influence. Whether it's pursuing a hobby, exploring your passions, or simply taking quiet moments to reflect, these acts of self-care help rebuild the aspects of your spirit that the narcissist sought to tear down. Healing is a process of renewal, allowing you to remember and reclaim the vibrant, resilient, and unique person you are. It's about recognizing that your light, your essence, and your worth are not just intact, but deserving of protection and celebration. The narcissist's ultimate aim is to extinguish your light, not through physical harm, but through emotional and spiritual destruction. They want to dim your spirit because your radiance is a threat to their darkness. Yet, there's a truth they don't want you to realize. They cannot destroy your light unless you allow them to. Your resilience, your capacity to heal, and your ability to rise above their games are far greater than their attempts to control you. You hold the power to protect your sense of self, reclaim your identity, and continue shining brightly. No matter how much they try to convince you otherwise, your worth is intrinsic, unshakable, and entirely beyond their reach. Thank you for watching this far. Your presence here matters, and your journey toward understanding and empowerment is a testament to your strength. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to join our community of truth seekers. How long will the narcissist stay with the new supply? Have you ever wondered how long a narcissist will stay with someone new after a breakup, especially if that person seems like a perfect fit for their needs? It's one of the most perplexing and heart-wrenching questions for those who have been in relationships with narcissists. The idea that the narcissist seems to be able to move on so quickly, often with someone else who seems to serve as a temporary replacement, can leave you feeling confused and even betrayed. So, why does it seem like the narcissist keeps bouncing from one person to another without ever finding stability or lasting happiness? The truth is, the narcissist's relationship dynamics with their new supply are complex, layered with self-interest, manipulation, and control. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the truth behind the narcissist's cycle of new relationships and what drives them to move on so quickly. Stay tuned to understand the twisted reasons why the narcissist may or may not stay with their new supply, and why this cycle is more about them than it is about you. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone who might be struggling with understanding narcissistic behavior. It's crucial to get clear insights, and by staying connected, we can create a space for healing and understanding. Alright, let's get into it. When a narcissist moves on to a new partner, the transition often appears swift, seamless, and almost effortless. They quickly shower their new source of validation, their supply, with excessive attention, affection, and promises of an idealized future together. The charm, the compliments, and the attention flow freely, making the new person feel as though they've found someone who will finally meet all of their emotional needs. But while this phase may appear to be an exciting beginning, the real question that arises is how long this relationship will truly last. Understanding the way narcissists form, or, more accurately, exploit, connections helps provide clarity on this matter. Narcissists don't approach relationships in the same way most people do. Their primary focus is not on mutual growth, deep emotional connection, or genuine care. Instead, it's about control, validation, and feeding their insatiable need for admiration. Their relationship success hinges not on love or commitment, but on the amount of attention, admiration, and adoration they can extract from the other person. For a narcissist, the question isn't whether the new partner is good enough in a traditional sense. What matters more is whether this new person can provide the narcissist with enough fuel, constant validation, praise, and acknowledgement that feeds their fragile ego. The new partner must be able to elevate the narcissist, to make them feel admired, desirable, and superior. As long as this dynamic continues, the narcissist may remain engaged, even if the emotional connection is shallow or non-existent. The honeymoon phase in any relationship is typically a time when everything seems perfect, when both partners are on their best behavior and the connection feels magical. For the narcissist, this phase is especially critical. It's during this time that they work their hardest to secure their new supply, drawing them in with their charm, charisma, and ability to make the